No, we cannot stop for sushi. Dylan needs to get home and check in with parole. No producers. We don't have time for this drama. No producers. You're not going to corner Dylan and I apart from each other. Dylan went to go get a DL because I forced him to and check in with his drug classes and everything he was supposed to be doing. And while he was inside, security took me apart, said I could not go in with him. That never happens at the babe, what's the name of that place where you get your driver's license? At the DMV. That never happens. They don't tell you your wife can't come inside. But they did that. And then I'm sitting out in the car with producers, Alan and another girl named Stephanie. And Alan is just poking me like a bear with a stick, saying, oh, we saw Dylan hitting on one of the girls in there. Oh, you know, and I'm like, what the? This man is out of his mind. Like, why are you trying to cause a fire where no fire needs to be caused? And every problem that you see on camera was completely curated by this production team. No problem, right? It's reality TV. Except for if you start coming for me, slandering my reputation and my business and preventing me from being able to earn a living, which is exactly what happened. 6 months following the airing of that show, I was again attacked over the head with a tire iron, approached by numerous strangers in the street. And I've literally been living either in my car or in a tent ever since. Responses from law enforcement, over 1,000 police reports filed. I could not tell you how many trips in person to 555 West Harrison, filing for orders of protection and seeking other sorts of, justice. Nothing has been provided for me. Since I was a little girl, I've been on my own since 14 years old. I don't think you people get that. People hear that I grew up in the western suburbs and that my mother is now a CEO. Guess what? My mother was poor when I grew up. My mother worked as a secretary for Total Fitness, got a second job waiting tables to support my family. My father worked a minimum, income job, a middle income job as a manual laborer for the village of Itasca. And everything I have, I got on my own, by myself. I've been out of my parents' house since 14 years old. 14. Raising my 3 children with minimal assistance from the state. Maybe I got a link card before, but that's it. No one has given me shit, okay? That Cadillac that they destroyed, I paid that on my own, and it was my very first auto loan. I was like, yes, I'm a big girl. I got approved for an auto loan. Who cares that I needed a cosigner? I have a loan. I was excited to have a loan. My very first loan ever. I paid that car off through Capital One. Where you going, babe? No, I'll go with you. My very first loan through Capital One, and I paid it all off, satisfied the loan. Less than 2 months after I satisfied the loan is when they incapacitated my car and stole it from me. So I've literally been dealing with this harassment nonstop since that show aired. Not only did they launch a public smear campaign, Love After Lockup and WETV, they also sat by while people tried to kill me, and then said that I was crazy and needed to be inpatient in a hospital. You put me on a reality show. I have 10 years work experience at reputable hospitals, including Northwestern. Hundreds of people who will vouch for my reputation and say there's nothing crazy about her. She's a hardworking, good person. But your reality show decides that I'm just going to be the target of your smear campaign, and the rest of society is going to sit by while I'm bludgeoned, stabbed, raped in the street, robbed, and beaten. And I'm supposed to sit silently in submission while all of this goes on? My job, as I've been saying for forever, is to raise my 3 children. That is my job. I owe no one else shit. Everything else that I give is extra. It's nice. It's kindness. It's compassion. I don't owe it to anyone at all. So, as I've said before, when the show paired nefariously, and this is conspiracy. You know, what the show did is conspiracy. When they paired to protect Dylan and throw me under the bus, you know, as a result, they didn't realize that I was going to be so hard to kill. They thought I would have been dead a long time ago, and I can vouch for that because I have Instagram messages from other cast members saying, "You're not dead yet?" What? Literally. I don't know how much more clear I can be to you guys. Do not do a reality show. Do not. The contract that I signed literally said in there, to my parents and directing towards my parents and my children, if the participant, Heather Gillespie, kills herself by suicide, the network WE will not be held liable by any means. What? No, you're cheating on me. I was hysterical. It was not normal for me. That's how naive and innocent I was. I had no idea what the fuck life was about. None whatsoever. And you take a woman like that and you play her and use her and finesse her and destroy her, and you don't think there's a fucking dollar amount for that? There most certainly is a dollar amount for that. Yes, there is. $12,800,600, and I will wait on it. So back to, you know, everything that went on. I have not spoken to anyone in that party. Is he here? I haven't spoken to anyone in that party since 2020. I don't know what those people are doing. I wish them well. I have no drama with anyone, but I also would like to keep my space and my distance. I have no desire to be around a group of people who look the other way while someone robbed my house. Why did these people have access to my house? Because I'm a dumb bitch. That's why. Because when I met them in the club and they told me their situation, their sob stories about having nowhere to live, and I was working promotions in the club. I wasn't in the club to party. I was in the club to get paid. They were in the club to party. So when they told me what was going on in their lives, I was like, of course, what are you guys doing this Sunday? Let's not go to the club. Everybody come to my house. I'll make a huge tray of mustacholi, you know, whatever. Well, they come over 4 or 5 people for dinner, and 4 or 5 people are there the next day and the day after that. And then the day after that, and you're telling them like, bro, I have things to do. I'm glad you were able to come over, but I have things to do. And Dylan, through the phone, was the only one who was able to get those people to leave my house. So I developed immediately this bond to him, like, this man is protecting me, you know, and it was deeper than that, and I could get into it, but for the sake of this live, I'm not going to. For the sake of this live, I want to give you enough information to understand, but I don't want to inundate you. So my generosity and my kindness and my compassion is what got me screwed over in the end. My trusting nature and my inexperience to what life truly was. I expected to be protected by the state of Illinois, by Chicago police, by the hospital system. And why is that? Well, when I was dosed in 2015 while working at the club, and I don't know who, someone dosed me to the point where I was laying in my bed, could not move. I went to the hospital, reported it, and said, I don't know what's going on, but there's definitely something. These people are in and out of my house. I haven't given them permission to be. I invited them over once or twice, but now I'm having a problem getting them to go. They literally refer to themselves as the lurkers. That should have been my first indication. If you call yourself a lurker, that's an indication that you're looking around. And, you know, I didn't get it at the time. I didn't understand. And I was a nice girl trying to help people. So I reported this to law enforcement and the hospital system in 2015. And that's when my house was robbed by that, well, the indication that girl was involved by her hat being left there. I don't want to blame her or slander her. I don't think it's slander to say she robbed my house if her hat is there and people tell me that she did. But at the same time, anyone could walk up to you and say that I robbed their house, and I've never robbed anyone's house, you know, ever. So I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt when she really doesn't deserve it. The way she's treated me has been trash as fuck. But I'm not a hater, as I said. So I gave Love After Lockup a chance, and I said to them, you know what? I don't want to sue you. I don't want to sue you. I would like to use you to propel my business forward, like any other successful business relationship. I don't want to sue you. What law is that? Under the laws of power, work with your enemies. Okay, so I contact them all directly, and I tell them, yo, I'm still outside. You all have sat here and witnessed me being used, abused, thrown outside, my house being taken from me, separated from my children. When are all the promises you made me for therapy, for assistance in housing, all this shit you promised me? When is that going to come true? And if you can't deliver on that, how about this? Here's a proposition for you. Use the same content that you have already. Create a web series and call it something like The Real Heather. That would be, in my heart, that would be like making up for everything, because they would be admitting that, okay, they used the footage they had to create a false narrative. It affected me deeply, financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It affected me deeply, you know? And I wanted them to be able to show my followers and the people who did believe in me and who do believe in me and who know me for real, the power of editing. And I thought that it could be helpful to lots of people around the world. You could have a half-hour uncut footage of someone and cut it up and make them look like an asshole, a savior, a saint. You could do it. That's the power of edits. And I wanted Love After Lockup and WE to use me as a sort of, we're sorry, and use the content that they had to rewrite the narrative. That's all I asked them for. They never even fucking responded to my emails. After that is when I started hearing about all these other bitches dying, or I shouldn't say bitches, women who participated in the show dying mysteriously. Same with men. Real scary stuff, you guys. And at that same point in my life, in my real life in Chicago, here in Chicago, the same thing started happening. People who worked with me, who knew me well, started disappearing or dying. And still to this day, law enforcement has not helped at all in figuring out what's going on. They have helped in like ways of like buying me meals at times. They know for a fact that there's nothing crazy about me and that this whole situation is fucked. So they have been helpful in different ways at times, but not enough. Not enough. You don't walk by any woman or man laying on the side of the street saying, if there's a job, I will work. If there is an opportunity, I will take it. Please help me get off the street. If your job is protect and serve, you don't walk by that person. And I say this all the time. The person with their hand extended saying, please help, you don't walk by that person and cast them aside. You grab their hand and pull. So many of us are so busy because of loyalty or because of history, running after people who are running in the opposite direction